in the sense of knowing what's right and what's wrong versus a mentally unsound mind. Am I conscious or am I crazy? Am I with knowledge or am I cuckoo for cocoa? You know what I'm saying? Am I now I'm with knowledge and conscious said, but I have a wonderful guest for you for Easter Day. Easter, the real deal. Ain't nothing about no damn bunny. And no eggs.
Ishtar.
Easter. Go on and introduce yourself to the people and we can get this thing started.
Hello. This is HATHOR-SEKHMET L, and I guess I would say more so that I am a spiritual teacher and advisor, but I wear many other hats in wardrobe styling. I'm an artist. So just all fields of beauty and art. I guess I stand true to my name of being Hathor. HATHORians is my brand as well. And if you want to check out me on IG, HATHORians is my spiritual page.
Yeah, man. I peeped your swagoo. I definitely, I see it. You got some swagoo, man. But
I haven't heard that in a minute.
so what's the root and what's the origins of your name? Because it sounds definitely interesting. Definitely interesting.
Well, Hathor, I guess everybody like it's Greek, it's not Kemetic, but we know, that was a true goddess with dealing with beauty and fertility, almost like Ishtar. She gets compared to Ishtar because she deals with all of that, but she has the horns, so she's that L, and that's my L on there is Elohim or angels or God. So she stands true to that. And then Sekhmet is the other half of her, the lioness goddess. And they both kind of go into within each other because there was something with Sekhmet where she goes and starts killing everybody out of rage, and they had to like feed her blood, and she turns into Hathor. It's a whole story about it. But I feel like I have two sides of me, so I always, even in all religions that I have been, because I've been an Israelite, I've changed my name so many times because of the different aspects that come out. I'm not civil, but I know I understand of being a God that there's many aspects to a whole.
Oh yeah. Yeah, people don't understand we're higher beings, in this certain realm that we are currently in. But yeah. Let me ask you this: do you watch or have you observed American Gods? And what's your opinion?
Yes, I love that show. I haven't really gotten into season 2, but I love season 1.
Oh yeah, season 1. After season 2, I stopped watching because they let the brother go.
Yeah, everybody was so. I think that's how their ratings went down because he was such a great character. I don't know if it's. How many seasons are they in? 1, 2?
I think they on season 3 now. They on season 3.
Okay, so I did see 1 and 2. It's the one where, like you said, where the one who plays the Anansi, the spider god.
Man, I used to see that book all the time, and the fact that they tied it into the show was amazing. I used to love that book. Yeah,
and it's so true. Like you can have that energy around you. I remember when I was going through my initiation, a spider. I had like a feeling like I seen like a spider like tattooing me in a dream. And my teacher was like, "Oh, the Anansi is visiting you," and I was like, "Wow!" But it was like the spider was tattooing my arm, and he was saying that was some type of initiation with them. So I was like,
Yeah, I got a love-hate thing with spiders, but sometimes, growing up,
you like my son.
Supposed to get spiders out of here, You know what I'm saying?
My son hates them. I keep them.
Hey,
they made like I put crystals up on my window pane, so it's all these different stones and crystals, and they made like a whole big web, and they were just catching nets and everything. I let it stay there for a while just to watch what they do.
Oh yeah. Long story short,
I wanted to kill it so bad. I would start screaming like, "Don't kill it!" They were like, "Why are you doing this? Like, you gonna smash it?" I'm like, "No, observe, don't kill."
Yeah, I try not to nowadays. I set it outside, but sometimes, hey, catch me on the
That's
wrong day. But nah, it's like, yo, you a jumping spider. I gotta get you out of here. But but to tell a long story short, I was young, like at least 2 or 3 or 4. I was probably 4.
Mhm.
Chilling in the tub, and then all of a sudden, spiders start walking on water towards me. So I got out of
What?
there. Yeah,
Yeah, because
just
he
running like
probably
Usain
hanging from
Bolt.
his web, like you look like it was what?
It was a daddy long leg. Yeah, so it was
Mm.
walking towards me. It's like, yeah, on the water. It's like, yeah, I gotta get out of here. So yeah, was
Traumas.
gone. I was gone. But yeah, spiders are, yeah, it's a love hate thing. But so what's your journey? You mentioned the name changes and like the religions. I guess
Mhm.
let me break down the process and your journey.
Plus, most of us as Christian, came from a Christian background, Baptist church, grew up like
Grandma,
that,
salute to my
grandma,
grandma.
old school, I'm a bit older than you, so yeah, I'm old school grandma, and grew up in Christianity, always knowing that, serve God, Jesus, Mary, all of that. And I always was looking for truth, even when I was a little girl. And that even started my writing journey because I would be like, I'm gonna write letters to God after seeing The Color Purple. And
Mm,
she was always writing to God or writing, letters. And I started doing that myself. And I
mm,
started talking to God, like, I want to know the truth. I want to know the truth. Like, I really want to know the real deal. And who sparked that was a guy that I was dating. He was a Jehovah Witness, and he was like, not everything they say is true in that Bible. And he was like, when they be playing organs, they be revving up demons and da 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 da. And I was like, that's crazy. And
mm.
we almost broke up, over that. And then I started questioning my mother. My mother was like, well, then go read the Bible for yourself. And then I got with the father of my children, and we were dating, and he got a flyer, and I found the flyer in his apartment, and I started looking at the flyer, and it was Israelites. So my longest journey and my longest religion, or I call it fourth dimension because it's dealing with theories, concepts, and everything. My longest time was with the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites. I was in that for 11 years. I
Mm.
feel like I did a little jail bid. When I talk about that, I feel like I did a bid.
Yeah,
Like I
11
did
years,
11
solid.
years. And those 11 years, I had 7 children with this man. So I had 7 children, 6 boys, 1 girl came out of the religion of being an Israelite, because you could not have any birth control. You couldn't say, no, I'm not doing this. It was more so like be fruitful, multiply, and you don't do birth control. It's God's will that you have those children. So just being in the church on my podcast, almost forgot about my
Oh
podcast.
yeah.
Her rabbit hole podcast. We talked about me and my co-host. We were both in the church, so we talk a lot about the Israelite church
Mm.
and what happened with us. Just hoping even that podcast came out of just hoping that some women from that church might just stumble, want to check us out, and we start talking about it, or somebody, dealing with the Israelite church can, hear that and maybe come out of that situation. Because it was a tough situation. It was a
Yeah.
tough situation on women as well. I don't know if you, what religions have you been in? Have you
Uh,
been in it?
just me, myself, and I. But besides that,
I would love to
uh,
look at your numbers. How did you escape the fourth dimension?
uh, Christianity strictly. That's the only.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's like start, digging into the word, actually reading, and then finding out, the history of everything. Egypt and spirituality before, you know, Bible and
Mm,
the ancient book of the dead,
mm.
Egyptian the dead, and it's finding out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it didn't sound right. Oh, they twisted everything. Like, oh, they lied about everything. It's like, oh,
everything.
Santa fat ass up.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, Santa,
Don't
yeah,
you feel like you just feel bamboozled? Like, God damn,
yeah,
like I was like, I asked for it. You ask for it. I don't know if anybody else, even if anybody's listening, like when you ask for something, just when you ask for something, be careful what you ask for.
oh,
And
yeah.
that's why I always identify with Alice in Wonderland. Like I went down that rabbit hole and I'm still going and I'm enjoying it now. Now I've learned how to enjoy it.
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't at first.
yeah. I'm going through the Yellow Brick Road.
Yes,
Yeah, Wizard of
yes.
Oz. No, the Oz. No, forget the Wizard of Oz. Oz. Forget
Mm.
that.
The why eyes? Why
Richard
you
Pryor's
why
my guy. Richard Pryor.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, you kicking it to the whiz.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes. With that, you think about stuff like that. Alice in Wonderland, um, the Wiz, Wizard of Oz is always these journeys that you go through to get to that, I guess, that crystal clear understanding or that clarity. Like when I talk to my clients or anybody, students, I always tell them that spirituality is not the religion or all these concepts. It's about how do you deal with yourself? Like when you're depressed, do you know how to deal with yourself? What brings you happiness? What gets you through when you are really, going through some shit? The mental clarity, your consciousness. How does it work? That's being God over yourself,
Oh, yeah.
not okay, I gotta be, I'm in fear of my life that if I do this wrong and I do this sin, then I'm going to hell. And a
Yeah.
lot of people live their life that way, where it's always about hell. Like there's people right now in this fourth dimension thinking, if I do this wrong, I'm going to hell. If I
Exactly.
do that wrong, I'm going to hell. What type of life is that?
And programs, and yes, it's the major form of programming. 1-on-one, and yeah, it's crazy living that life. Like, yeah, yeah, it's like cuss words, really that bad? It's like,
Right.
yeah, it's like, is it really that bad? And you just realize these things, like you mentioned earlier, like, well, I break it down, scarce energy exchange. It's strictly for that and not for, because you exchange the energy with anybody, then
Hmm.
you got the demons, you got somebody's energy,
Hmm.
you stuck with, and people don't understand that, and the spiritual aspect of that activity
Hmm.
is key. And yeah, even alcohol, people don't break that down. You're drinking spirit.
No.
It's
And
like,
then like you're looking at it, it says on the thing, spirits. So obviously when you take in that liquor, you're inviting an entity or you're inviting possession. Anything that opens you up, even weed, I smoke weed. I do that before I even go with a client. And reason why is that I do it with intent. So I do it intent to open myself up. So if an ancestor is around or whatever, I'm not in my thinking mode.
yeah,
I'm more in my mode of I'm open. I'm in more of receiving and channeling. I'm in my channel mode, so it helps me to just relax and open up.
oh yeah, I
That's
spray
really key, but you
I
got to
light
be
my
aware of
sage. Yeah. I've been lighting sage all the time. Like, man, I want to light sage at work, but that's it's like, hey, man,
that.
get up out of here.
So
But
when you sage, you want to. I tell people when you sage, you're clearing the negative energy, but make sure you burn something that'll bring in positive energy, like frankincense, amber. They got these temple. It's Indian temple or something like this. Oh, it's got jasmine. Or these are like sweet smells
oh
that
yeah, yep,
like bring in the angels, bring in positive energy. So once you cleanse the area, or if you're in your house, because squares trap energy.
yeah,
So when the energy is getting stagnant, and a lot of people don't know that if you keep your house dark and you don't circulate the energy, that is opening it up for demons to come into the house.
Man, conscious are crazy, man.
So you should
So
open up the windows, sage your house real good. I mean, it's Ishtar. Ishtar is bringing in the good, clean energy. Everything's growing. So yeah, do some spring cleaning. Open up the windows, sage, and then once you cleanse the area and hit the windows and hit the doorways, those are key because those are portals. Doors and windows are portals that demons can come through, and mirrors.
Yep.
So you want to make sure that you hit all those areas, and then you burn the good smells and stuff. Or
What you think about the theory of I heard the phrase, if you crack a mirror, it's 7 years of what you think about that?
I think if you crack a mirror, they do tell you just to bury it. You wrap it up and bury it. Yeah, because it's a portal. I came across old mirrors, like some creepy, freaky shit where you just know it's from, like, like if I stare at you long, even they say when you high or you drinking, you don't look in mirrors.
Yeah, I think
there was this thing. Where was it? I think it was Are you familiar with Dr. Delbert? Dr. Delbert Blair.
Elaborate. Yeah.
Dr. Delbert Blair, R.I.P. One of the greatest of metaphysics, Black man. Everything alien. He's up there with Dr. York. More of they were dealing with like the aliens, Black people being aliens. All of that monatomic gold. He was selling all of that. He was selling the
what they call them,
the things that keep the copper things that keep the energy from getting crazy. Here it is. Diodes. Dr. Delbert Blair did like grids with these diodes, and he's familiar with even saying that Chicago had a portal, Detroit had a portal, they had portals of protection.
Yeah.
There was this one trick, I believe I was listening to him, and you put the candle in front of you and you look in the mirror. Nope, it was a different guy, but he's under him. But anyway, put the candle in front of you in the mirror, turn off the light, and your face will start changing into different people, your guides and your ancestors. But they say you got to be prepared for it because not everybody is human.
Oh yeah. Some
So
reptilians.
you can see you might see some reptilians. You might see. I seem like a animal face, so.
It's an interesting experience. You said just light a candle or
light a candle and put it underneath your face, and you look in the mirror and you stare into it about 10, 15 minutes, and you start to see that change.
Yeah, people don't realize sometimes you're talking to the walking dead, you're talking to people that ain't people. Some creatures.
I just found out from this man came in my inbox, Baba Ofumi. It was a pleasant surprise because I always get people to come in my inbox, or Ifa people, the Ifa priest come in my inbox, but it'd be scams and stuff. But he broke down my blood through astrology. And he told me all the nutrients I was lacking in my body. And he said that I'm more amphibian. I have amphibian blood, that I'm more of like a fish out of water. And that I require certain things for my blood type. And I just was thinking about that, like not everybody is truly human. And that even like, gives that a foundation, a source that, if the blood type is saying that, oh, you require this and that, then yeah, we're definitely seeing that not everybody is totally actually factually human. I was like, oh shit, I'm officially a mermaid.
Hey.
Mami Wata. I'm a daughter of Mami Wata. I'm like,
okay, Ariel.
I know. And it's so crazy. Everything lined up, and I dyed my hair this red color. I'm like, this is the irony. I'm like, I'm finding out that I'm amphibian.
Yeah, I definitely gotta dig in and get some information for you on that, brother. Because I gotta look into him.
You should.
I'm big on Bobby Hemmett. Been big on him for a while now, and everybody in the series Hidden Colors. Like Bobby Valentine, all them brothers, man. They really got me hit the games. Like, yeah.
I like to stick with the greats. I just see a lot of the new kids on the block. They are regurgitating it. Even oh my God, Nature Boy. You know, people like that just regurgitating the greats, like Dr. York, Dr. Delbert, you know, the ones you mentioned, people that already did the work. Just give reverence back to those teachers.
Exactly.
I just want them to make sure that they always do that. I never just spit off stuff that's not mine, that I didn't work hard for.
Yeah. So what's the key what's the key message, or just break down the outline of your book?
Oh yeah, we're talking about Dark Moon Lilith's Revenge, and this has been a span over 2 years that I've been writing this, and it was after I left my ex fiance. And it's funny because he was my teacher for over a course of 4 years, and that's how I learned how to do soul contracts.
Elaborate that. Soul contracts.
That's the numerology that I do. So your birthday is a code, and it expands out contract. You ever seen that movie with Matt? I believe it's Matt Damien, not Matt. It's one of them guys, but it's dealing with this angel, the black angel, and he's on a clock, and he has people that he has to watch, and he's watching this one white guy, and has to make sure that he doesn't meet up with this girl. He ends up meeting with the girl, and everything goes wrong because the angel fell asleep and he woke up late, and then he starts running after him to like stop him from meeting this girl. What is the movie? I'm forgetting the name of the movie, but there was this grid, and the angels were looking at this grid or this maze, and they were saying it was their contracts, and how they didn't want them to keep meeting up because they kept showing how they keep meeting up, that they will end up together, but they would ruin each other's lives. The soul contracts that I do, they actually break up into a frequency, and this frequency we call expansions, and each expansion comes from the past, present, and the future, and I read the numbers and I intuit them. I use it intuit for my teacher psychically, so certain things that they may have, when you're going over the numbers, it's telling a story in a sequence, and when you're going over it, sometimes you can intuit and just tap in and see what was happening in that contract. But you have to be there to experience it, to understand it. But numbers tell stories, like angels read numbers. So that's how I read the numbers. I read them like a story, and it goes from your first expansion, which would be at birth, and then we go all the way up into what you're supposed to do. We look at different soul contracts, like Nipsey Hussle. He fulfilled his ascension or his soul contract. And people like, why did he leave like that? Da, 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 da. And his mother saying he left peacefully. He reached and fulfilled his soul contract. He did everything he was supposed to do. He hit his marks.
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah. And I feel like that's the thing. Like, we're gonna be I feel like when you hit that mark, you know what I'm saying, nothing else you can do.
You hit 2 0 points in your life. These 0 points are in your soul contract. The 1 point of 0 that you reach is where you live at, or like your environment. You feel at peace. You finally find your home, your area where you vibe and you thrive at. And then there's the other 0 point of where you find your mind, your consciousness. That's when you hit a neutral point where I'm happy in the state of mind and the environment I'm in. And then you can create your own life off that grid. Once you fulfill those contracts, you must hit both 0 points. You can hit at 1 0 point early, and then later on in life hit the other 0 point. So it can be you find your mind first, or you find your home, or you find your home first, or you can find, I've seen some charts where they find it simultaneously.
Yeah, Yeah, I believe in the charts, and it's definitely important. You know, the origins and you know day I was born. You know, breaking down the numbers and the connections is very powerful. And certain people I would never flow with, and certain people that I will always flow with. I'm realizing that it's like, hey, what's your born day, man? Let's gonna get this out the way.
Right. I do
Oh,
that with everybody that comes to my chart. I need to know, even with my compatibility charts, I do, it's either that person is a soulmate, they could be toxic, they could be
yeah,
a business partner, they could be love,
yeah.
like pure, like this is love, this is compatible. But not everybody is meant to be together.
Oh yeah, and actually to tie it back, like you mentioned, engagement. Do you feel like our people are supposed to be married? Like, I believe more in like how you broke down the soul contracts more than the actual,
I
license.
see that even in contracts, you can be contracted out to have a child with a person
Yeah,
because that child chose you and that person to have, create them for what they
yeah,
need. That's why even when I look at family charts and I'm like, oh yeah, y'all were supposed to have him, y'all supposed to train him up, y'all need to do this, and that with this person. So sometimes marriage is necessary, but there are people who are naturally polygamous and there are people who are naturally monogamous. And that can be found in your numerology and astrology.
yeah. Because breaking down my sign. I'm a true independent. I'm Sagittarius.
Oh
20,
yeah.
21st of December. Very creative individual. Very independent.
21st of December?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a portal child.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, and then they say the stars align when scarce energy exchange, between two parties, for the people, when that happens, stars align, and then a child is born.
Oh yeah, you got enough energy to have tons of children.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's deep. Yeah, I believe I'm believing I'm supposed to meet
You
certain.
have you as a portal child, you do have one particular mate you're supposed to find, and you can have at least 3 children being a portal child. That's
I'll
3
go 3
times.
children. I like 3. Yeah, that's a good number.
Because you know why you need to have 3 is because usually a portal child has a special child that they have to raise. So your chart is small. Your chart will probably be small because you have one certain thing that you have to do, and it may be dealing with this child that you have to raise up. You're supposed to probably have your own business, and definitely with your numbers, I could see these children coming through, but you got to find out which one is special one, and usually a middle child. Middle child, if y'all are a middle child, you usually are the special child.
I was the youngest, so that's great. That's interesting. Yeah,
You were meant to look at, if you're the youngest, you're meant to look at everybody else's mistakes.
oh
And
yeah, yeah, yeah. I see it
sure, but
all.
if you
I
can
see it all.
pinpoint your the middle sibling, possibly, how many is there of y'all? How many siblings do you have?
3. I got 2 older brothers.
So who's the middle child?
No, they're both the same age. That's the crazy thing. So.
Okay, so whoever, they're twins?
Oh no, they're not twins. No.
Are they from the same family? Okay, I'm asking
Yeah,
too many questions.
stepbrother.
Let me
But
stop.
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
like, okay. I'm
That's
going
my
into
brother.
reading.
But yeah,
I'm
2
sorry. I'm
different.
going into reading mode, and we're doing a podcast.
Yeah,
Once you tell me them
we can do
numbers,
it
my
after the
mind is
pod. It's cool.
turning.
We can do that after the pod.
Yes, because my mind start turning like, hold up. I start going into investigation mode. I want to go into everything. And I just had a lady. She's like, she was like, she said, my son, she had 6 children. And she said that now that she's starting to have grandchildren. She's like, I'll see my grandchild look like my one's, like their one uncle. And then my one grandchild looked like her aunt. So I was like, oh, those are reflections. So they're supposed to be learning from each other. So I was like, if I could look at their numerology and their numbers, I could tell you what they're supposed to learn from that family member, being as though they're in reflection of that person.
Okay. So So dive in the root reason of your book and like the.
We gotta go back to that
Oh,
because
it's cool. Nah, it's yeah,
the
we
root reason
building.
of my book was basically because out of my engagement with him being my teacher. Once students starts to become teacher, there's a little bit of in our experience where he was like, "Oh, you dark, you dark, you dark," and I had repetitively heard that, like somebody saying, "Oh, you could be very dark, or you do this, or you do that." And by nature, I know that Scorpios are dark, but
Oh yeah,
um,
my
I
father's a
started to
Scorpio.
dive into that, like what other, what is darkness in that, women are naturally chaotic by nature.
Mm,
And if you think about Lilith, the Lilith character, Lilith was seen as dark, demonic, one of the most scariest demonic characters in the Jewish religion. They
mm,
see her as, and I don't think her story was really told right. And at times I always felt like my story was not always told right. It was always like you're dark, or the negativity. So many of my poems are about rebelling, being me. And even my tigress, I don't even want to get into that, but me as a tigress, some of that is in my book. But it's a book of poems, and the poems are kind of like very close to me, not even kind of, but very close to my soul and my heart. And I just speak from my heart when I do this poetry. And it's about different men that I've loved in my life. It's about my sexuality. It's about my children. It's about the Israelite religion that I've went through.
mm,
It's just different aspects of me. You're gonna get it a little bit of everything.
mm.
I am a highly sexual person. So you will probably see a lot of that in there.
Uh, when can they find your book?
You can find my book. Pre-order is going on right now. We're hoping that it can be dropped on 5/5. I want it really to be on 5/5/5/5 portal.
Okay, elaborate. Why?
Because 5/5 deals with change, but it also deals with communication. It deals with the throat chakra.
Mm,
And I would think that that would be a good time to drop a book about who you are and speaking about your life. And on Cinco de Mayo, the numerology just breaks down across the board. Is the day will be the month will be 5, the day will be 5, and the year is 5. We're in 2021 breaks down to 5. So this the 5/5/5 portal.
yeah,
So
people don't understand about the 31st, the Day of the Dead.
mhm,
People don't recognize that, and the
mhm,
numerology and the importance of that.
mhm,
Some of these holy days, the
mhm.
roots are very important and the origins. But yeah. Um.
We're on a portal day today. Today is 4/4.
Oh yeah, 4/4, man.
Mhm.
And what's the message for today? Is it a little bit of change, a little bit of
4/4 today is dealing with structure, or it can be dealing with business. Like it's a good time to have a business meeting, um, or even be with family. 4 is dealing with structure and schedules and business and order. So right now we're in the time of getting our shit together. Everything is we can have a foundation to build things, but today is definitely talking about business. Doing stuff like this, doing a podcast would be great. Um, Talking about money, research, that would be a good day for this. And family gatherings for Ishtar. Ishtar's celebration is good for 4/4.
oh definitely, yeah. I might do that, of course. That was a blanket.
Um,
What are not giving too much away? What are some key takeaways from your story?
Liberation, being okay with being you. I hope that it will open up. A lot of people who have read my poems have came to me and said that you being so uninhibited, like you don't give a fuck. Like it touches me. Like I feel it. Like I feel what you're saying. I always get that where I feel what you're saying, and I just feel like people can identify with it because it is that raw. So you get a part of hearing my soul. I really feel. And you can get the book. You can pre-order the book at www.HATHOR9, the number 9, books.com.
Okay, you can send me the link and I can definitely put it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I guess just to dive it back and to tie it back, what is your viewpoints on toxic, and is it a good toxic, or do you feel certain people are supposed to be in your life to teach you a lesson, to even influence you, or to help you evolve by being so-called toxic?
I think sometimes the toxic shit that happens could be a reflection of you.
Yeah.
I feel like, when I was in my twin flame relationship, there was different reflections that I received where we were both toxic. I don't think it could be one-sided sometimes if there was growth, but everything that happens to you, every relationship that happens to you, you got a little bit of toxicness in you. And I just think it's a negativity. If we think about something, even if you had something toxic in your body, it doesn't mean that you can't get rid of it. You can't. There's ways that you can get toxins out of your body. So the behavior can be changed as well. So I don't look at those people in my life that did bring that. Like, I was in an abusive relationship before. I still understand that there was shit that was going on, and I moved on from that because it was like I would hold bitterness myself from somebody being toxic and like dwelling on it. I think we dwell a lot on the negative shit that happens to us, and then that starts being that we start becoming.
Oh yeah.
And that's another poem in there, is like in my book, is about me almost becoming what they wanted me to be, or becoming what they were putting into my head. I started believing that this dark character is evil.
Exactly.
But this dark character is not evil. And that started helping me to kind of heal. So yeah, the book is even a process of my healing, of getting at the toxic, but turning it into a positive.
Oh yeah. Point of views is crazy. Like someone can start some negative issues, like haha. It's like, nah, you wanted to be negative towards me. I wasn't even trying to.
Right.
Like, man,
right.
I was taking a walk, and you stepped on my shoe. It's like, what you doing? What you stepping on my shoe for? Like, I just wanted to see how you react to this. Don't put this situation on me.
No, that would be another topic. How we send each other through these little tests, and we do shit together just to see reactions and how somebody might react to something.
Y'all got some tests for brothers, man. Be whole honest, man.
Y'all do too. Y'all do too. I feel like I'm going through one right now. It's called I'm not gonna text you. We're gonna see how crazy you get if I don't text you. And I'm like, you know what? I don't play those games anymore.
It's crazy. I feel like in this day and age, we got a lot of access to each other, like versus back in the day, like we didn't have too much access, so it was like more balanced thing. But yeah, it's like I've been in those situations, like, yo, I talk to you every day. What you talking about? We don't talk. It's like, talk to you every day.
We like to communicate, and we want y'all to communicate. I talk to you
in five different forms of communication. Like, see, Snapchat.
It's like, you're like, oh, I need a break. And that's when I'm. You know what? That's the thing is that if I know my toxic thing is that I could get this neediness. Like, I want attention. I want attention. Yesterday, I knew the numbers. I knew that the day of 3 does not work for me because my anxiety is up. 3 deals with a high energy. 3 deals with anger. 3 can deal with sexuality. It can deal with all of that energy. I knew I needed to stay away from people. So when I was getting those thoughts, the thought was that demon or that toxicity that came in was, text this nigga and start some shit. You mad? And you like, what? He ain't text you and he ain't say good morning. You need to get on him about that. And it's like,
yo, say Grand Rising to me, damn it. It's
like, Grand Rising, motherfucker. But you didn't think, you thinking my like, go do it. But then there needs to be that thing of don't run on your emotional impulse and maybe turn off your phone. Do something, that won't have you coming at other people and gripping out, because there's something internal.
Exactly.
And that is becoming a God, is knowing when these programs are coming and hitting you. And just knowing that you got bad with you too. And everybody has bad with them. It's just how much do you want to deal with? And is that person consistently working on their shit?
Exactly.
And then you really can't say it's toxic. You just, they're dealing with some shit that they need to get through. And if it's consistent and they're showing change, then stick with them.
Yeah,
But if
exactly.
you're not,
and some of this energy we're not responsible for, you know, it's passed on to us. Like our parents, like, oh, damn, like I'm battling with, damn it, Dad, why you didn't heal yourself before giving? Come on, man. I'm dealing with your shit, man.
That's why we got to be careful about who we lay down with, because their consciousness is going into your child too. And it's just like, what are you creating? What are you doing? And then when you said that, yeah, some of the stuff is handed down to us, and then some of it is the planets are controlling it. Planets are controlling it. And that's why I call them the gods and goddesses. Even Earth controls your energy and your frequency. Every day I get up, I go on this thing called Astral Matrix, and I look at what's daily going to happen, or my moon transits. I look at those things because we are pretty much puppets to the energy if we're not aware of what the planets are doing to us that day. So if you can get up in the morning and look at your energy and look at what the planets in the moon, in your moon transits, you're like, okay, it could say something like your conjunction is your Mars conjuncts your sun. And there may be some things where you want to fight people, where people are attacking your identity. And you just like, this is a frequency. It's not really you. It's just that they want, the planets or the gods and the goddesses want to see how you're going to react underneath this energy. And sometimes you'll cycle back into that, and you'll have a transit that goes with Saturn, which is the father, and he'll be putting you through something strict that was like, hey, did you remember from last time when I came around? What are you going to do with this frequency? What are you going to do with this energy? Are you going to, be a puppet to the energy? Are you going to be a god to the energy? And that's why that's what they want us to do. They want to see those things.
This app called The Pattern, and salute to the individual that introduced me to this app. Yeah, her, Yeah, it's like, and I'm in this phase where, hey, it's like, okay, I'm just getting certain people out. So yeah, I don't see this evolving. I'm just gonna get you out. Just focus on me. I gave you all the gems I could. It's like I gave you every gem I had. So hey, so let me just, and then it's like, yeah, I'm in that process. But yeah, it's a battle thing, evolving and trying to find that.
Yeah, I just think about you. We could talk about it definitely more, but you got some work. You got a mate. You got a mate to find soon.
To find soon? What I got some months or what?
I don't know. What year? Okay, I'll find out what year you were born, and I'll tell you where you at.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like individuals like, once again, to tie it back, Richard Pryor, he was all over the place, man. He couldn't help it. Like all them wives he had.
Pryor's birthday.
It was I think the 1st of December, 1941.
December. I could see all that energy, and then him standing out on his identity. Usually people who would deal with like a 1-1 energy, like their masculine feminine energy are one, or they deal with ones in their birthday, are famous. They're dealing with their identity, so they have to stand out and always show who they are, whether they be comedian, an artist, an athlete. That one energy usually is a marking of being famous.
1940, December 1st. Yeah.
Yeah. And then his year is 1. Yeah. And then he deals with 5. His year is 5. So he's dealing with communication and talking and arts. So he was meant to be a comedian.
Yeah.
And he probably thrived off the energy of the audience and felt loved because he was dealing with that 312 equals to that 3. So he was dealing with the energy and wanting that love or attention with the 3.
Yeah.
So that was his contract. He was meant to be a comedian.
Man, yeah. Salute to the OG, man. That's one of my
R.I.P. Richard Pryor.
I feel like I share a lot of similarities. Like, man, yeah, I like leave me alone sometimes. Like, he was a quiet, laid back guy at the end of the day, but sometimes he did stand up. Man. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know your full natal chart? Because you sound like you got some Virgo going on.
Yeah. In my chart it was some Virgo. But mostly Capricorn, Sag, and then Virgo was
I can see it.
I can't.
Businessman, Capricorn, Virgo is more so. They can make all earth signs are good at making money, but Virgo is more of they make the money. They keep order, very strict. But more so hermits, like they do their research alone. They like to be by themselves. They need space and time alone.
Yeah. That's all I tell some of these queens out here is that, hey, it's not me, it's just the signs. I can't help it.
Even with some women, I have women clients to be like to their man, like, I just want my space. And they, it bothers them. I'm like, no, they're a Virgo. If anybody has 9 in their birthday, whether it be the month, majorly the month or the day, because it's dealing with how you nurture yourself with the month, and then the day is how you're dealing with your thoughts. So with that 9, you need space. You need time to be away from people. And that's what Virgo energy, Virgos usually don't tend to come here to Earth. Their contract is usually for them to be alone and do something like some major research.
Oh yeah, scientists, yeah,
Scientists, people who work alone in a lab or, something like that. They're not really meant to be a family oriented, but sometimes they end up getting a family and they be like, mom, or your mommy's so standoffish, or daddy is always wanting to be in his office by himself, because that's their nature. They weren't really supposed to have children.
So let me ask you this, because this goes even deeper. You feel like some brothers left because they were supposed to, like, hey, I just can't do this, and they left. What you think? Because
sometimes in a children's contract, they're not supposed to be with the father. You can look at, like, sometimes I'll look at mother and father and I'll be like, oh, he really wasn't supposed to be there, or the father. Yeah, there's 9s even in the contract where that child, that man was only meant for the DNA, but he wasn't meant there to raise the actual child. Yeah, there may be another person. That child may require different teachers. That's why it's so important to really look into your children's spirituality. I do child soul contracts too.
Yeah, because my grandfather, like, I had to find out he was my step grandfather. Like, what? It's like, nah, man, ain't your dad's dad, man. That nigga was trash. But it's like, he was a trucker. Hey, he was he was doing what he had to do. But
and some people had that, but he could have been even naturally polygamous.
Yeah, I think obviously, yeah, he was.
The more we have, the more we gain more understanding, the more we can have that emotional intelligence with each other. Yeah. Because I even do that, even with the facial readings. I read faces as well. And that was something I learned from my fiance. It's called the all-seeing eye, where you just can look at somebody's face and break it down. You can break down their consciousness and sexuality just by looking at them. And that's what I do in my readings as well, with the compatibility and just in general. When I do it so much, I just look at people's face and read it.
And to tie it back, even this show I was watching recently, Afro Samurai Salute. I'm saying the first couple minutes, his father, I ain't gonna say it, but yes, he loses his father. You know what I'm saying? He was like 2 or 3. He's like, damn, it's like, oh, this impacted him his whole life. So, pretty much revenge and pretty much helped him evolve into the person he was supposed to be. But
in your journeys, you're supposed to at least lose 2 people when you go on your spiritual journey. I've lost 2 people on that journey, definitely. So you lose 2 people, and that impacts you. Death in a family can impact even in a soul contract. There's so many things that really you thought may have not been pivotal to your growth and your ascension, but it is.
And so with the face reading, I guess, could you break down the vibrations from my face?
You're a pure thinker. You are what we call an eagle, so you could be a great manager. You know how to. You're doing good with what you do now. You are a talker. You're very bold. You're not changing for nobody. I can't see your lips. I'm looking at your nose. I can see like this glare, but you're a thinker. You're very smart, not too emotional. You see fair. Can I see your ears?
Gotta,
Turn to the side.
I don't.
This
Hey,
side, but that other side where the light is hitting.
all right, so my ears.
Turn this way like that.
All right.
And let me see. Can't see them all the way, but you have fairly nice size ears. Ears matter. The position of your ears. So if your ears kind of like, if your ears sit low or high, it tells me the position of how you see. You have it right there in mid, so you see, you have balance, but you have like almost, your ears look fairly big, so it look like you could be like a musician or somebody with, you know, great communication.
Right.
Do you do music? Do you
I'm a like an A&R for a friend of mine, but yeah, you know,
Yeah, you're good.
hip
Yeah,
hop, you know, yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
write sometimes. I ain't trying to, yeah, but I write sometimes. They say
Yeah,
I look like Lupe.
you got it.
Yes, it's like,
Your ears are your ears and your eyes are your strongest features. And then I'm looking at your lips. You're a little bit of a receiver. So you like to receive love. And then I'm not gonna go into that. That might be for the women. But when you can read a woman too. You can read a woman as well. You can read by faces if a man and woman are, or if the man and man, woman. I've had those type of readings as well. If they're compatible sexually and consciously.
it's deep.
Yeah. So I can look at you now and see if you're sexually compatible with me or not.
Okay.
Awkward.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's possible.
Shoot. I guess anything else that you could break down between.
Oh goodness, so much. Where could we even start? But
like, he got crooked teeth. Get him out of here.
No. The key point is, if you want to really read a man and know what he's working with, you look at his nose, you look at his neck, and you look at his thumb. Okay. And it tells you what you need to know about him and his anatomy. It's not his shoes, it's his thumb. It's his neck.
Sunday school
the
lady.
Lips as well, the lips.
Okay.
Even with a woman, her lips signify her.
The Denzel. All right, okay, yeah, okay. More better blues for the people. But
So, you know, we be looking at the feet. No, you got to look at those key things, because the neck is done with the shaft. The nose is done with the penis. These would be balls. On a woman, this would be her ovaries, her uterus. Lips deal with how you receive pleasure. It's different things that mean different things. Bigger eyes, smaller eyes is dealing with sexuality and consciousness. Your whole face breaks down and tells a story.
Yeah, it's deep.
From childhood on up, you can see things like in one of our podcasts, we went over soul fractures. So you can see if somebody had a soul fracture. And soul fracture comes from trauma where the soul is actually fractured, and you can see it on the face. So you see people with different types of faces. They could be fracturing or already fractured or healing from a fracture, which can mean that child or that person has been molested, trauma has happened, abuse, something that was just too much for the soul to take without showing it physical. That what happened to the soul shows up physically on the face.
Yeah. It's deep, man. You know, definitely a Sunday school, man. I guess anything else you wanted to touch on, man.
I think I won't stop, but you know, you can definitely contact me.
We went down
IG.
this rabbit hole, man.
Yeah, I know we did.
I might call it that. I might do a play on words, but yeah, like.
Yes, we went down the rabbit hole. I enjoyed this. I gotta come back sometime.
Oh, definitely. You're a member of the family, man. Conscious Conscious or crazy, man. Vibe equals tribe. Definitely.
Thank you. We fought long and hard for this, and here we are finally.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, he forgot about me.
Yeah. Right on time. Like, hey.
Yes, I think you did. This is special. This is special on a portal day. Thank you.
All right. Hey, appreciate you. And I guess any your information to the people you gonna give your information to the people.
Yes, you can contact me on HATHORians on IG. I'm on Facebook with HATHORians, and also I have a style goddess Hathor, and then I have Hathor's Creations. I bet if you put in Hathor and on IG, you'll find all of my information more than likely.
I'm gonna make you my stylist.
HATHORians.
You're gonna be my stylist.
Yes, I you know what, that was another life. I feel like I've lived so many lives and did so many jobs, but yes, I was a wardrobe stylist once. And now I try to like flip it up and put more of the spirituality in that. So that's Style Goddess Hathor. And then you have Hathor Creations, which is my artist page. And then her Rabbit Hole podcast. I'm doing a lot of stuff, but that's all of my astrology. I thought that, you know, I'm just all over the place, but I'm meant to do that. But definitely Hathorians, I answer a lot more.
All right. Hey, appreciate you. And definitely you're a member. So yeah, we definitely gonna do this more often. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, and you got to come on our podcast as well. We love to have those gender conversations.
I'm open to dive in the rabbit hole with y'all.
Yeah, we won't attack you though. We won't attack you.
I keep up for the brothers. I got y'all, man.
Yeah, like I said, I don't need no Samuel Jackson or no Samuel or what's his name or Derek Jackson. I don't need no
Derek Jackson.
Teach me how to respect a black man. Like my mama taught me how to respect black men and do good to them. So
that's what it's about, man. Definitely appreciate you once again. Conscious or crazy in the sense of knowing what's right and what's wrong. A sound mind. You know, vibe equals tribe. Positive energy activates constant elevation. Peace. Appreciate you.
Peace.